Let's start with our high moments. Things you got them.
Okay, so my most recent high moment has to be me. Oh my God, this was so stupid. So I just finished being destroyed by an edible, or an edible just started to destroy me, actually. That's more fair. Uh, I was in the middle of cleaning up my room and also trying to like find something to eat. So in my room, I was, throwing garbage out that I didn't need, things that I thought was not important, whatever. And then, going to get something to eat, you're going to get something to eat. My brain confused the two locations and like what the goal was. So like I went in the fridge and I grabbed like maybe like a snack pack or some shit, like a pudding, and I threw that in the garbage by accident. And then I looked at it like immediately after, and I was like, "Why did I do that? Like that pudding did absolutely nothing to me."
If it was chocolate, it deserved it, but
Yes, actually, any chocolate flavored anything is.
besides like chocolate, everything chocolate flavored besides chocolate, I'm like, it's too much.
Mm-hmm. It's appropriation. It's a sign of
Right. It's like
appropriation,
it's too
honestly.
much. Like it'd be too thick. I don't
They be
know. I
trying to
don't like
steal
that
the
ice.
sauce.
But no, I feel like I don't know. It depends because like I could do
Chocolate ice
brownies.
cream is not it.
Chocolate ice cream is not it, but I could do like brownies and stuff.
But
But
brownies would have actual chocolate though, and that's why,
that's
like,
true. That's true.
like I'll take that versus like chocolate flavored blah blah blah. Chocolate flavored candy bar, not candy bar, lollipop, like a
You
Tootsie Pop.
remember
No,
when they had like the ice cream flavor or whatever type of Skittles, and there was like chocolate and vanilla Skittles and that shit? It was the most disgusting thing
that's not mad
ever.
nasty.
It was so disgusting.
Ew. Why
Um,
are candy creamy? Why candy taste creamy and fake?
like I don't want that
That's not
shit.
mad nasty.
I
Yeah,
don't want
nah.
that shit. And I'm mad that they made it. And like as a kid, you're like, oh my god, they thought of this new shit. Like it's about to be so good. It's about to hit. I
Right.
tasted it. I was like, why? And
You
that's
were
exactly what I
ashamed.
think about like all these like hot Cheeto, whatever flavored like anything. I'm like, that shit just looks disgusting. And it looks like your stomach is going to implode on itself.
Yeah, it sounds just as painful like going out as like it came back in as it went
And
in.
that's
It's like
exactly why I can't do that shit.
I feel like they all be trying to compete in them labs of making these flavors of like which one of us could just really make y'all just become married to y'all toilets.
No,
Like
I think their goal is to see who's the first human to spontaneously combust. Because like it
mm,
gotta be. I'm like I feel like they're trying to make the atomic bomb in food form.
and it's something like you eat and you just blow up.
Yeah, they're trying to make it happen. And then once they find the one case that does it, they're gonna slip it into the community.
Yo, they're gonna be putting it in the Takis everywhere.
I mean, remember, it's a SpongeBob reference for everything, but when they had the pies,
Right. And it had autumn pies and there were bombs.
that's what the Cheeto does is.
Could you imagine though, like you have to then you dead gotta live your best life every day because you don't know when you're just gonna blow up. You're just gonna blow up into pieces because of some pie you ate. You're just gonna burn up in
What
coals and shit.
what kind of pie do you think is worth blowing up for?
Every single one. I'll do it twice.
Everyone, like even like key lime and like
Key lime, that's a wave.
pecan.
Key
Really?
each pie is festive for like a specific location or function, but they're all good. You just have them continuously throughout your life. You can't like there's no time for just one pie the entire year round. Your pie palette it has to evolve
I feel
as the
that.
seasons change. Might get a
Ooh,
peach pie, a little key lime in the spring, summer. Get a nice little
okay.
apple,
I
some
don't know if I've ever
blueberry.
had lime. Like I can't recall ever eating it.
I like it. It's like a little sharp. It's like a nice little sharp taste. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you get that. You get that little zest from it. I think I made that. I made that from it. Yeah, it's a little zesty and whatnot.
I can see where that would
Uh,
deliver.
very much. But it'd be good. It could be like even a similar consistency to like a cheesecake if you want to keep it like thick.
Ooh, okay.
Keep it like thick and sturdy. Keep it creamy. I want to, but that'd be it.
Okay.
Sometimes I think about though, like cheesecake is also considered a pie. I feel like.
I mean, technically, I could see it. It's just
Right.
like it doesn't have like a whole. Sorry, the loud ass cars, but it doesn't have that like the all around crust. So maybe that's what makes it different. But then key lime doesn't either. I
I
don't
think
know.
it does. It's just that small little. I feel like it's a pie depending on how shallow the dish is,
Mm-hmm.
and like if it's a certain shortness of it, it could be considered a pie. So like if the key lime or like cheesecake has like one of them tiny little crusts,
Mm-hmm.
it's a pie. But like if it's one of them like Great British Bake Off 3 tier whatever, that's a cake.
That's the only difference between the two.
Yep,
I
that
feel
thickness
that.
of that crust.
Yeah.
Yes. But
All right. So, for my high moments. Oh, wait, first, before we forget, let's say what we are. I'm sponsored by a joint tonight and some. How the fuck you say this? DZ edibles with 3 I's and 1Z. Pineapple Paradise. Cannabis infused gummies. Yo, these shits be hitting and like quick. I'm like, they're $30. I got them at the smoke shop. I take one. I feel like maybe 15-30 minutes later, I'm cruising. Like, it's gotten me through a couple shifts now. I'm fucking with it. I recommend
shout
it.
out to Stizzy. Shout out to Stizzy.
What you on?
Props to them. We smoking here on that anonymous vape cartridge.
Not anonymous.
You know, it's one of them. It's one of them. It's one of them secret batches or whatever.
That's what they got in the back.
Yeah, that's what they got in the back. This shit not even released yet. It's not even on the market yet.
We held it down just for you.
Just for us. It's an exclusive.
That's the name of this joint.
It's called exclusive.
Sponsored by Diddy.
No, yes. Sponsored by Ciroc.
Sponsored by Ciroc by Diddy. Like, you gotta add it.
Yes.
But, okay, so for my high moment, speaking of, I bought these like capsule edibles. So it was like weed in like a little thingy. And I took 2 of those.
Like a suppository?
I think they're like no, like I just like take like a regular ass pill. I'm not a suppositor. Who said that? Who even opened the gate for that?
Because you don't know. That's how some people be taking their pills. You know, they got to put it. They can't. It don't even work. You know, up here work best. You know, on the other end of the tube.
But now that you suggested it, I might have to do it as an experiment.
Just let it dissolve.
Do you think it would work if I put it in the vagine?
That might just be. I mean, you know, let's think about it this way. Have you ever had to prescribe your puss like an actual capsule medicine? You ever gave your puss like a direct Advil, like you like slip it out there? Oh, word?
Yeah, they have like suppositories for vaginas.
No way.
Definitely.
No fucking way. That's wild. Yeah. So then, yes, actually, that would be very interesting.
I know years ago, I just had the memory I seen a video of a girl, like they put the blunt into her vagina and it was like taking puffs. I seen the video. I seen it. And that just blew into my mind, like from nowhere. I really buried that memory.
But what if it like coughs? Like, what if it got like what kind of lungs does a pussy have?
I mean, enough where a kid is alive and grows. I don't know.
I guess, but I'm like, how how much can a puss be chiefing? That's my bigger I guess
Right.
question of the day. What's the longest hit a puss has
Has taken?
pulled? Yes.
Hmm. I want to say it could do like 1 minute pull straight.
People with vaginas, please call in and let us know how
Try it.
long.
Try it, please, and let us know. And just to let you know, I ain't got shit, so you can't sue me if something go wrong.
Yes. People with vaginas, please let us know. Please report back with evidence
and pictures.
Please, pictures. Yes.
Oh my god, like I was saying, my high moment. So I took the pill. I took two of them. I think there was like there was 10 milligrams each. So I took two, and literally, like, I had to go down and do my shift, and I was working. Them shits hit, and one of my coworkers like is working on this like test. So she's like, like English isn't her first language, so she'll ask me for help sometimes. But I was the first time she ever asked me. So she's had she like comes over. She's like, yeah, can you help me like figure out this question? And I swear to God, I read that question like 5 times, and I'm reading the multiple choice that goes with it. I'm like, bro, this makes no fucking sense. Like, it makes no fucking sense. Like, the way that, and I feel like they were trying to do on some, like, it felt like a trick question. I swear to God, I feel like it wasn't even because I was high. Like, it was like the way they worded it, and then
did it make you, was it so bad that it made you like question your understanding of your own language of the first language?
I was like, had to be like this on a table staring at it. I had my hands on my chin and my elbows on the table. I was like, my face was leaned into that book. Like, I had to pick apart every single word. And then so then after that, someone comes to the desk and it's like, I feel like either it was a regular. Yeah, it's a regular. So they come and like volunteer, and like I don't know if it's like a speech impediment or something, but he was just like the way his voice sounded is like he was saying words, but I just could not hear it because he was just like but saying words like, but that's how it sounded to me. So I'm like, and he was having like a whole ass conversation. I'm like, fuck, like but he wasn't talking to me. Luckily, like my boss was still there, and my boss was understanding him. So I'm like, maybe I'm just the fucked up. Like maybe I'm just high as fuck because
you got so high, you literally lost every
bro,
understanding.
Like
English, your knowledge of English literally just went up in smoke. That's what you talking about.
Because he was like, and he was answering the sentences clearly. I'm like, how the fuck did you hear that shit? I was like, bro, like this.
You better grab a random. You better grab a random book. You better turn it to a random page, hoping you know what it says. It's like so. You didn't realize you're in the foreign language section. You think
yo, and I'm like, it's never like this. Like people, like I could get away with whole like shifts, not whole, but like I can go away with like half of a shift, and people not ask me shit. Or like just not like if it's something that's like a quick like, oh, go over there, or like I'll help you find this book. Like you want to ask me these questions, you want to like, I'm like, bruh, I'm trying to fucking cling to this chair right now. And then so luckily I got to leave like a few, and I was like, I like was literally looking right ahead. I'm like, I was looking this way, so I'm like, no questions, no nothing can be directed to me. Energy goes that way. But yes. And then I feel like that was a good high because I feel like I got an artistic epiphany that day.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So, get high at work. It's fun sometimes.
Your loss of language benefited in a gain of creativity.
Exactly. Because it wasn't supposed to shit I was supposed to hear anyway. I was too focused on the next to comprehend English.
We don't need English. We just need art. That's the vibes, man.
Period. All right. So for the next, we're gonna skip tweets because I'm copying Thing 2 swag and I'm on a hiatus because fuck that app. Are you still on one?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're gonna move on
Right.
from that. Next we got whole story. And you will do the honors this week, right?
Oh yes. So my homeboy told me how he went to go hook up uh, with this guy, and he, I guess he met that guy that day and like coordinated it and tried to figure it out. My homeboy already suspected that the guy was short. But apparently when the guy pulled up to the crib, to I guess his link, or to his link, he didn't realize that little boy needed like a high chair, still needed like a high chair to like still, you know, do stuff. Still quite itty bitty.
Oh no.
Yeah, so my homeboy was telling me he went to go to the spy. He was telling me how like the whole building was like full, like unkept. Never saw a drop of Ajax. They don't even know that word.
The whole building?
The whole building, it smelled like poverty.
Wow.
He said it smelled like poverty. So he pulled up there, didn't realize how itty bitty homie was. Pulled up to the room, didn't realize he's still sleeping in a twin bed.
Not the twin.
Cause
How old?
he was telling me he's like, I think my homeboy said he's like 29.
Okay, well if it's as short as I'm picturing, maybe a twin bed is enough.
But that's exactly what my homeboy found out. He realized that, you know, when you're fun size, the world is just your playground, and you could really live a great life with not a lot. My homeboy left that function more, I guess, enlightened and more humbled.
Mm-hmm. How was the sex?
My homeboy said it was fairly good.
Okay.
It was fairly good. My homeboy also said that apparently he bled for like a second. I guess the mini me was bleeding for like a brief moment, and almost passed out.
Oh, is that a
or just had a little panic attack, I guess, allegedly.
wait? Is that a good thing or a bad? Hold on, because we started with it was pretty good. I mean, shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was good for my homeboy, so you know, I guess.
Yeah. Okay,
I guess,
I'm feeling
yeah,
it.
you know. I mean, that's the vibes, you know. I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so he felt, I guess, relieved, enlightened, and humbled in that one little interaction.
Did he ever go back, or that was a one and done for him?
It seemed like it might have been a one and done for him,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I gotta follow up with him and see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Okay. So I guess that would be the perfect segue into the main topic, right?
Yep.
So yeah, what we talking about this time?
Today we talk about the nuances of everybody has them, everybody loves them, whether
Mm-hmm.
you are pure, whether you're filthy, whether you're young, whether you're old, you're black, you're white, polka dotted, purple, we all got them. Fetishes.
Woo! Clap, clap, clap.
Yes. Fetishes is such like a fetishes is such like a interesting thing to think about because literally anything, depending on who you're looking at, could be like a fetish. Who you're talking to could be a fetish.
Mm-hmm.
Like people can have fetishes for like something that's like very directly sexual, like having a fetish for like being rubbed a certain way, or
Right.
being I guess caressed or being interacted with in a certain way. But then other people just
So
have fetish. Yeah.
I would just want to say like, how would you define a fetish? Because I'm like thinking, is a fetish like something that like you obsessively have to have all the time, or is it just something that you are sexually attracted to, like doesn't like just comes and goes?
I think fetishes is like the same concept as like people talking about their appetites or like what types of food they
Mm-hmm.
like to eat. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, I like a little Mexican, I like a little um Caribbean, I like a casserole every now and then.
I bet that's a move somewhere on Urban Dictionary.
Yes, that's definitely it. But yeah, I think it's just your palate of somebody's like sexual appetite versus like their digestive appetite.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't mean that you always need it.
Mm-hmm.
It just
Okay.
means you'll enjoy it if it's there.
Yeah. So you feel like any little thing like that like turns you on sexually or like is a fetish? Or
Totally.
okay, cool.
So Merriam-Webster defines fetish as an object of irrational reverence or obsessive devotion, an object or bodily part whose real or fantasized presence is psychologically necessary for sexual gratification, and that is an object of fixation to the extent that it may interfere with complete sexual expression. Okay, so this sounds a little kink shamey, but Merriam-Webster
I'm doing that over here. But Merriam Webster, they wasn't getting no
that bit.
pussy.
I was gonna say that bitch is dead. So
And they wasn't getting
no.
no pussy because they was sitting there talking about words. You wasn't getting no pussy. Nigga wrote a book of words like
No pussy
too much time on
to
there.
recall, not one. Very unfortunate. But I mean, I feel like fetishes don't have to be something where you have like you can't be sexually gratified without it. I think it's just like a cherry on top for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I guess there's also the difference between like fetishes and being fetishized too.
Yeah, true. That's
And then
very
that
true.
goes into something else because it's like I when people have fetishes for like objects or like people have like a shoe fetish or people
Yeah.
have like a fetish for
Socks.
leather. What you said?
Socks.
I
You
thought you
ever
said
see?
I thought you
Oh
said cock. I was like, what?
no,
They got that's not a fetish. That's a
it's just
that's a
biology.
sex.
I
That's a
don't know.
sexuality. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah,
Nah, but
socks. Exactly.
yeah. Um, it's so funny to think
Socks.
about. It's so okay. Like I don't know if you have it on your list, but there's one I have to talk about that I found later. I was like, oh wow, this is kind of wild. But
A
I'm
type
like,
of
I can see
fetish.
the appeal. Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Um, I forgot what it's called. I think it's called vor.
Oh
When it's
yes, when you get to vor, like
for your
when
itty
you have a
bitty.
fetish for like and you want to be swallowed.
Yes,
Yes,
that
but
one
that's
is
like
very interesting.
it's always interesting to think about how fetishes can be categorized into
Hmm.
like three, let's say three umbrellas, but those are just like that's just three of a bunch of other ones, but like domin to dominate or be dominated, to
Hmm.
submit or yeah, I mean to submit and to be humiliated,
Hmm.
which is could also be the Venn like the middle part of the Venn diagram of domination and submission in certain ways.
Yeah.
But it's like when I think of vor, it seems very much just a very hyperbolic form of a dom sub
Hmm.
scenario,
That's very
because
true.
that whole thing is just you want to be so immersed in your person, you want to be in like a part of their their digestive system.
Did
You
you?
want to be a
Someone said that to me before. That they said like before I even figured out what vor was. Someone like said that to me, but I just am just like putting that together.
They said they wanted you to be a part of their digestive system.
They said no. They said they want to be so small and want me to put them in my vagina and carry them around all day. I'm like, okay.
Did you save that number?
It's still on Instagram.
There we go.
No follow back, but it's there.
Who knows? Maybe that person got the code. They got the code for the shrink
Maybe in
ray.
the future, maybe somewhere like making coding just for that specific thing to happen. Coding to make an AI machines, or I don't even fucking know. We'll talk about AI later. But just to make something that he can shrink down like some Willy Wonka shit.
Some Honey I Shrunk the Kids type shit. Could
No.
you imagine? Yo, could you imagine uh, a spinoff of, well, I guess another rendition of Honey I Shrunk the Kids,
But
and it's
I
like the
don't.
clothes. I'm imagining right now, right? It's like the clothes. It's like the clothes don't shrink, but the people shrink. But this girl, she shrinks to the size of her panties, and she's just in her panties. And then her sister just goes in the girl's room and takes the panties, and then the girl that shrank is just in her sister's puss.
What?
Cause
What is
yeah,
this?
it's Honey I Shrunk the Kids.
Stop. You just ruined the movie, the whole franchise.
It's Honey I Shrunk the Kids 3. Oh, whatever many they got at this point.
There's
But that's the that's
definitely
the that's the new one. That's the rated R version.
there's definitely a porno out there somewhere that has something like that. I know it.
Yeah. Yep. You just gotta type in vor. The first thing.
The first one. Wait,
Mm-hmm.
so wait. No, right. I'm like, wait, for real? But I'm high as fuck. I'm like, calm down.
You said you got to see that.
No, never that. I'm like, wait, but I'm like, I would not be surprised as a human being if that really existed. Like that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I bet there's something out there
There's
that's like,
definitely
honey,
there's something out there for everything, and that's
yo,
what's
and
wild.
I'm like, do you think? I'm like, I feel like, do you? Okay, so there's some like fetishes that you just like kind of find that you have, but some of them like you think like the internet gave you.
That the internet gives you.
Mm-hmm. Because I don't know. Do you think that?
Yes, totally. I feel like there's fetishes that exist because of your upbringing and like what you were exposed to in life. And
Mm-hmm.
there's also fetishes that were just a part of that can be sourced from a voyeuristic that could source originally from a voyeuristic standpoint and then expanded into actually wanting to experiment with it. So
Mm.
like the example of like let's say somebody has a fetish, let's say somebody grew up very very reserved for some, in a very reserved household, no nonsense. But for some reason they have a fetish for formal wear and like people wearing suits or like dress, nice presentation, before being intimate, because it's just sourcing like them feeling the restriction, but I guess playing with that in the bedroom, versus fisting, where I mean, I can't think of an instance, I guess, where somebody just grows up knowing they want a hand in their butt,
Yeah, I'm like,
which is
okay.
which
Like,
is never a
do you think
problem.
that
But
like you just see that, like you maybe seen it on the internet, and you're like, oh, I want to try that. So like, how do you,
and
and then
that,
how do
yes,
you bring that up?
how do you bring up fisting?
Wanting to do it with someone, like, how do you just bring that up and cover? I feel like I would just be like, I don't know.
I feel like with any fetish, you just got to be outright with it and just like approach, right? You got to approach it. It's just like, listen, I like to experiment with different things. I'm curious. Would you like to give my butthole a massage?
I feel
From
that.
the inside and possibly out.
Oh wow.
Beloved.
Okay. I'm done.
Yeah, make sure you blow a kiss.
Yo. The suction alone, I'm just like, oh my god.
You just gotta carry everything forward, I guess, But but that, I feel like, and that's the whole thing too. I feel like if you really have this fetish, like, you gonna chase after that. If that's really your fetish, you're gonna make that yours. Or you're gonna make sure you get a taste of that somewhere in your life. Because it's all feelings. It's like you've seen that at least once before and had that that funny feeling that it's just making your insides dance. You're downstairs, having a party or whatever.
I feel like I just like add things to my list, and I'm just like I feel like I can't just do it with just anybody. But I don't know. For certain things, I definitely have to trust somebody to try this.
Totally. And I feel like that's the other part of it. It's like fetishes should be able to be out in the open and exist and cultivated in a community that like hears it, that is also willing to hear it, and also just lean into that discussion, because it's always unfortunate when people just aren't even at the point of like approaching their fetishes out of shame or out of repression or whatever else. So having those communities where you do that is always you always feel that stark difference.
Okay, so then I guess the question I have is like, where do we draw a line with fetishes? Do we?
I feel like fetishes, it's such a tricky topic, because in some ways fetishes can be useful or can be beneficial, because it can guide people through their traumas or through their forms of, actually trauma is the best word, actually, but just being able to guide themselves through the traumas that existed in their life.
Is it guiding or is it coping?
I think that depends on how they lean or approach the fetish, because I think of the difference between like somebody who might have there's that whole well, actually maybe I can't speak on that, but I know there's a book called Slave Play that's about like I think it's like a sex I believe it's about a sex therapist or something, but it's essentially about like this woman like dealing with her racial and sexual traumas through race play and slave play, and just guiding her through that. Or but then there's also, I guess, I don't know, I don't know
See,
if
because
I
when
don't
we
think
did
it's
our
necessarily
BDSM
coping.
test, when we did our BDSM, remember that? We got that as the
Oh yeah, when
lowest
we
on
found out how much of a slave we are,
you, not me. So
and I'm more slave.
you had like 15%.
I def got that somewhere. I gotta find that. I was deaf.
Me too.
I was deaf too much of a slave for my
No, I
liking.
think I have it saved actually in the Google Drive. Let me look.
All
Oh
right,
wait, I don't
where's
think I have yours. I have mine.
oh, but
Honestly,
yes,
but yeah, I'm like I feel like definitely depending on who you're with and like the trust that's there. Like I'm like I feel like I'm pretty open about things, and I don't want to judge anyone or like shame anyone. Definitely, because it's like, hey, like maybe somebody else will be into it. If I'm not into it, it's like I'm pretty open. So as long as it's not.
I feel like the what's interesting about fetishes too is like you get to it builds and reinforces that trust in a way too by being able to explore a fetish with a partner
Mm-hmm.
because in a lot of ways there are a lot of fetishes that do play on that can play on specific dynamics or dom sub things, but then again they can also just feel really intimate or feel
Mm-hmm.
very personal, being able to be vulnerable in that way with another person. So
Yeah.
it's interesting how it requires trust, but it also can reinforce trust
Mm.
for and during initial, I guess, interactions with a person or a partner.
Okay. Yeah, I feel that. Um, I don't know. I feel like yeah.
I think there's always still a difference though, or like the concept of like fetishes can be more harmless when it's with an inanimate object, but
Mm-hmm.
when you are fetishizing when your fetish is a persona, then it can become
Or a
problematic.
person, then it's like
Personality, right? But within those people, you're expecting a type of persona or a
mm-hmm.
type of yeah, personality or um, energy
Yeah.
to them. And I think those forms of expectations or projections on interpersonal, when it's an interpersonal relationship or an interpersonal fetish, that's when it can become problematic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because then at that point you're avoiding your fetish doesn't it's not just kept within yourself at that point. I guess if it's
Mm-hmm.
like a fetish for like shoes or something else, it's something that directly applies or affects another person and how they view themselves
Yeah.
and how they
Yeah.
view you
And I
and
feel
how they view
like
you. Yeah.
putting like okay, so like yeah, fetishes where they pull like people in public or whatever that didn't consent to it into it is like ugh. Like people that fucking like I don't know jerk off on a fucking subway or something or like fucking like
Mm.
you know what I mean? Because that's a
Mm-hmm.
fetish, and it's like you're putting it on other people.
But in a way too, I think about how that's also a form of it can be a form of humiliation for them too,
That's true.
because
But it's just
they're
like I don't know. The non-consent part is a little like, you know.
oh, absolutely, the non-consent part is what universally makes it not okay, and that's what a
Right.
lot of these fetishes should always exist with consent. If or
And I feel like
exploring a
yeah,
fetish should always
mm,
exist with consent.
I don't know.
It, yeah, but that's what gets tricky about it, because even with fetishizing types of people, because I think there's so many instances
Right.
where uh I think, so like for myself, it'll be like depending on who's asking me the question. So I guess
Mm-hmm.
because of my racial ambiguity,
Mm-hmm.
when people don't know, they become curious. But when they become curious, it also shows what they're hoping to see, or what they are projecting, or what they're valuing in a way
Yeah.
as well, depending on who it is, but especially in a sexual context.
Yeah, and that can always be like, is it jarring or is it like,
It's
okay.
very, it's like I treat it like a game, honestly, because it comes a point where in the beginning you think it's like all good fun or just, a topic of conversation. But I think eventually over time I've come to realize it's a form of like, yeah, it's a form of just projecting your forms of fetishizing on someone you're not sure how to fetishize.
That sounds so complicated.
So I'll give you an example. So like there was an instance I had a sexual interaction, and I met up with this guy, and what happened? He asked me what my background was. Then I told him, just what my background is. And once hearing, I guess, the part of just being Hispanic, it's always interesting too, because I get fetishized more for being Hispanic rather than being Black.
They see that as, oh, that's different.
So they say, yes.
I don't know why, because there's so many fucking Spanish people on this planet. Like, it's
They'll be
not
like, oh,
foreign.
it's so ay. It's so...
Leave me alone.
They be like, it's so interesting.
They always
though.
gotta add spicy.
Yeah, so it was like the minute hearing that, it's like, oh, you're Hispanic? Oh, I papi. And it's like, no, that's just that's just
that would make me go soft.
Disgusting.
That would make me go soft so fast.
Go home to your mother.
Dried up.
Yo,
Dried
but that's exactly what happens. But that's my main point. It's just how no matter what, it's like people are gonna have fetishes, or people even, I mean, that also gets into like fetish versus preference, I guess, too, in a way. But like, everybody might have their appeal for certain people, but when you adjust your behavior, or you adjust your the way you interact with this person, once you hear how to interact with them, it's very jarring how stark the difference is. Especially for an ambiguous person, because you get to see that difference where you were normal, quote unquote normal. It was a regular interaction until you heard this piece of information, and then you adjusted how you talked, or you adjusted how you think you should talk based off the information.
I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just am gonna be me. But also I'm not ambiguous. So I'm just like, I think I can't hide it. Somebody did ask me, he was like, no, okay. I don't know. I told you about that dude that he tried to holler at me on the street, and I was just having a bad day. And he was like, oh, like, can I get your number? I'm just like, nah, I'm not feeling it right now. So he was like, oh, I knew you like white niggas. Or I knew you like white boys. That's why I only date white women. I was like, like in the middle of the street, bro. And,
what?
And so I was like, dude, I had to take my headphone out. I'm like, dude, you're projecting mad hard right now. He was like, yeah, I am projecting. But
so he admitted it, and he said, yes, you're right.
And then he was like, but like, if I was a white dude, you would be all on me, right? I was like, no. I don't know you, bro. And you definitely don't know me if you thought that was the tea. Like,
there's so many layers to that whole.
Then I walked away. Then he was like, wait, but you Black, right? And I'm like, well, you just all over the place, sir.
You should have told him, why did you just yell at a white woman like that? and just kept it pushing. And like,
It's because I had the blonde locks in. He was confused.
yes. You should have been like, haven't you seen this 100% flaxen hair?
I should have just started speaking Spanish to fuck him up real bad. No French.
He'd be like, "Ooh, you one of them Creole Haitians."
Oh my god.
Yes.
All right. So do we want to do a preference talk right now, or should we save that for another time?
I feel like preference and fetishes can dance on a very tricky line.
Right. So
because
like,
they're not
think
the
it could be a
same.
bigger
Yeah.
episode? You think that could be a bigger episode, or do you think that could be its own episode, or do you think
preferences? Oh shit, yeah. I don't know if we got time for that.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, maybe we should save it.
Maybe it's preferences, but I mean, it does get tricky overall. I feel like the more it gets expanded on, because again, it's like fetishes can be for anything, you know. As long as it gets you there or helps get you there,
yeah.
You know.
What would you say? Okay, so what would you say is someone you just recently found out about for you?
A fetish I have
that you just found out about recently, or always haven't tried yet.
Haven't tried yet? Oh God, I've done a lot. So. That's you know what? Actually, I was talking about the whole concept of sounding. Yeah.
What's that?
What's this? But I don't know if that's not a is that a fetish? Maybe it is a fetish. So sounding is the process of like you take like a small little like metal rod and like the size of like your pee hole.
Okay.
And then you just put it through your pee hole.
Oh.
And then you could just hold it there, or you could go in and out. And then, it allegedly, fact check me on this, it could provide a stronger or more aggressive and concentrated ejaculate.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
But that's
what hurt.
Yes.
But
no, I don't think. Well, I don't know if it could, because I think if it's a metal rod, it won't, because it's not a. I guess it's like a rounded metal rod. It's not like a sharp end. It's just rounded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there are people that do want it.
Probably,
like,
and I'm just
painful.
like,
yeah. Which is
I just recently found out, like, I just bought some nipple clamps, and I've been trying to get into them. It's like I've been trying it out. So
it's so unfortunate. I always envy the wider community of people who get sensation on their nipples. Because I think of how like my chest is just quite like, I feel like my body is like oblivious.
It's what do you mean?
It's like it doesn't pick up on. It's like if somebody was trying to caress, at least the top part of my body, like my nipples, I guess my body's not responding to it, or it's just like it's out to lunch, and it's like, oh, we doing something? Oh, I ain't know,
No,
and that's unfortunate.
No nothing.
Yeah, and that's what's unfortunate. It's like nothing. It's just But I think that's why. But I think that's why, I guess, in my context, it's very much more of the idea of like, what is it? Like applying applying a lot of sensations to another person and finding gratification that way. Because then, for what I can't feel, I can make somebody else feel more than what I could ever think about feeling.
I feel like I get it. I get what you mean.
Yes.
It's like it's turning you on that you're turning them on, like, period.
Exactly.
And I feel that. That is also a fetish. It's like that.
Very much. There's like,
Okay, one I've always wanted to try. I want to get the little electric thingy, the little,
or like the electrostimulation.
yeah, the little zapper. I want to try that.
See, that's always been something that seems. I wonder if like you can use that for other purposes too. Can like you heat up like your coffee in the morning like quick with it, you know? Like is it like that, or can you like maybe you could like kill bugs, like you get like a moth or whatever, and you get the wand. I'm trying to think of like the versatility of that, you know?
Killing bugs with it would be wild. Killing bugs and then putting them by your puss is crazy. It's not a deep It's not.
It still got pieces of the wing like on the
It's like particles are in the air.
But then imagine like the bug. Imagine you shock the bug with it, and then the bug comes back and it got a gag in its mouth, and it's like,
okay.
So do it again. I've been a dirty moth.
I was resurrected for this moment.
Do you think butterflies like in bed when they wanna get into like kinky shit, they'd be like, you filthy moth.
You ugly ass bitch.
You worthless.
You diet butterfly, get in here and fuck me now.
They said, yeah, we can't see you during the day because you're just a worthless fucking moth. That's why, bitch.
You don't even do nothing. All you're gonna do is go sit at that fucking light and get your ass shocked and die.
You just be fucking up my sweaters, huh?
You just a follower ass nigga. Like you just go to the light, like, and you know that shit kills you, but you still do it.
You like ruin it. You like ruining all my shirts. You fucking dirty ass moth bitch. Huh? It's like, oh yes, I'm a dirty moth.
More.
I'm so worthless, moth miss.
Mistress, please.
Yes.
No, okay, that just reminded me of the horniest anime I ever seen. Fucking Prison School. I was just talking about that the other day.
Prison School?
You ever seen that?
No.
Bro, you gotta watch it. You will be that was the fetishes, all that shit. Like, yo, you gotta watch it. It was crazy.
Prison School. It sounds like jailbait.
Oh, I would not suggest this for the kids and the ones who are not perverts.
For the children out there who are listening to this episode,
please do not beckon them. Do not beckon them.
Yeah. We don't
or again, I have nothing, so you can't sue me.
Same.
Period. I am not an influencer. I'm just a nigga that's smoking and talking shit.
Yes.
Right. So, any last thoughts, or should we go on to recommendations?
I don't know. Fetishes make the world go round, and fetishes are like the toppings on the ice cream, which is sex.
Okay. Yes, I feel that. I'm hoping to explore more. Maybe not this year, but soon.
Yes.
We're taking another hiatus. We're taking a sex hiatus, you know.
Yes.
That can also be a fetish. I don't know.
Taking hiatuses. My fetish is disappearing. Nobody hears from me, and I just live in a lodge.
I get off on 0 touch and 0 contact, but the thought.
You know what really makes me nut? Just not seeing anybody.
Just my own reflection.
Just me, myself, and I.
Honestly, like, I feel like, you know, reflection is also a fetish.
Yes, being in love with yourself. That's why there's so many
No,
gays
no,
that
no.
gay couples that be looking alike.
And I feel like there's nothing wrong with that.
They be,
I feel
yo,
like
it's
there's
actually
nothing.
mad funny. So I went to this party in in the building. It was
Mhm.
upstairs by this gay couple,
Mhm.
and I didn't know anything about them. I didn't know their names, anything. They're a friend of a friend, I guess. Um, so when I met one of them, I didn't realize he pointed at his boyfriend, and they looked exactly the same.
I feel like it's not even a fetish; it's just a gay phase. Like,
Like like they're brother lovers. Like it looked like they, you know.
I'm like, I would do it. I would do it. I feel like I've gotten close, but not like a doppelganger.
But I feel like wouldn't that? I don't know. Don't they? I guess maybe they don't find it weird. But I just in my mind, that's like me waking up to a mirror, just being like, "You fine as fuck. You fine as fuck."
And I completely agree with
But I
all
do
that
that enough.
sentiment. I feel like I agree with that sentiment. I could get down with that agenda. Like what that is the ultimate form of self-love.
Like you, that's hilarious.
Like you won the game. So the ego game is won.
You said ain't nobody could tear me down. You know what? I'm fucking me.
If anybody got me, me got me. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yes.
Okay, and on that note, let's go to the recommendations.
Okay. So my music recommendation is a song called which one do I want to pick actually? Oh, I do like this one. The song called Marlenita, and it's by Ranil. It's a very fun little like instrumental. Just uh, I described this with my friend. I guess this would be in the category of like I guess psychedelic cumbia, almost.
Ooh, I like the sound of
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's a vibe. Uh, TV show recommendation. Uh, I would suggest. I've been watching the book of. Oh, actually, you know what's a good recommendation? The Great Soul Food Cook Off.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Yes, it is amazing. It is so great. It's on. You could find it on Discovery Plus. You could find it on OWN. It's one of them Oprah shows. Uh, she
Of course,
involved.
Oprah got that one. Of course,
She
Oprah
of
got that
course
one.
she's the first to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it what else is it on? It might be episodes on YouTube, but it's mad good. 8 episodes, just food, black as hell. Talks about a bunch of like the history of like soul food. It's a moment. I vibe with that. And then movie has to be uh what movie did I watch recently? Oh, this is a sad movie though. I don't know. But
Like it
it
sometimes
was
we need to cry.
I was gonna say it was good. The Imitation Game. That's a
Oh,
That's
I
what
never seen
it's,
it.
it's cool. It's cool. It's about spies. It's about trying to win World War II. You
Mm,
know, there's
mm.
gays involved.
Okay.
Tragically, tragically.
Tragically, dang.
Yes.
I never
um,
knew.
but it's very, it's good. Be, Benny Cumberbunt or whatever his name is, isn't it?
Um, coming her butt. What? Like,
Bend over, coming her butt. He's in that. He's the lead in it. He does a good job.
okay.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
All right. So for mine, I think for I don't know if I want to do album or a song. Okay. So Saw Baby just dropped a new like EP album, whatever, but it
Mm.
was fire. And I feel like the song I want to pick is between One and Done and yes, it's beautifully titled Dicky Mouse. So yeah, it's fire. Like Saw
Fire,
Baby is one of one. I don't
fire.
know, one of one, and
That's a vibe.
everybody needs to get on the wave. I'm trying to tell you now. I be knowing. Get on the wave.
Yeah, nah. You do be knowing too.
Okay, so then for a TV show, I gotta like catch up to. Oh, I'm gonna recommend two. Um, Alice in Borderland, the second season just dropped. That
Oh,
shit is
word.
amazing. So I'm watching it. And then damn, I just lost it too. That's fucking crazy. It was Alice in Borderland and fuck. Whatever. It'll come back to me when I don't need it anymore. So a movie I just watched. Oh, I've been watching the Hellraiser series. Hellraiser is my favorite.
Oh, word.
Yes, and they have like all of them. Not all of them, because I think there's like 11 of them bitches. So I've just been going through. We got it. Me and my friend got up to like the fourth one, but so far like I love them all. Like they're all just special and weird, and like the first one was horny as shit. Like it was amazing. No, that one. If you haven't seen that one thing too, you should definitely watch it. Like I feel like you would like it. It's just
Word.
it's also like Matt 80s, so it's like gory and like. But this one is kinky. Like they have the leather, they have like the I feel like you would like it.
Hot.
Um, and then yes, for I think that was a movie, and then
Yes.
I said a TV show, right?
Yep.
All
You
right,
hit all
so
three. You hit all three. Yep.
yep, and then the other one didn't come back to me, so whatever, fuck that one.
Word.
All right, so this has been whatever dot 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 episode. Thanks for coming. We'll hit
Yes.
back later. All right. And this.
Even though I like boys, would you still let me hit? If I eat your pussy, would you still suck my dick? Baby, I'll take your soul if I lick on your clit. You ain't never met a nigga who could do it like this. Would you still be my nigga if I fuck on your sis? I'm a verse top, I can never be your bitch. And if I suck your dick, swear to God I won't spit. And your bitch call me daddy when I'm deep in her shit. No hard situation, baby, let me get this nut. And where your brother at, cause I still want his butt. When I eat your pussy, I'ma pick your ass up. I'ma show you little baby, Dilly Bow ain't no chump. I'm a thug nigga, bust knocks and I flip tricks. Matter of fact, I eat pussy and I suck dick. Bust quick, nigga wanna rump, then it's nothing. If a bitch want my time, bring them funds in. And if I slide through your hood, what you gon' do? Cause I'ma walk through that bitch like I'm supposed to. Bump you, bitch come outside, I ain't gon' jump you. I'ma come me hot like I'm Goku. And I'm a faggot, but they knowin' I'm a shooter, baby. Since I'm a shooter, can I have some of that cooler, baby? I'm a faggot, I'm the number one shooter, baby. I'ma call your brother like, what's up, what you doing later? I want the dick, the pussy, I want everything, bitch, what it is. I want the dick, the pussy, I want everything, bitch, what it is. Bisexual, Problems, bitch, bisexual. Problems, bitch, bisexual. Problems, bitch. Ay, can you solve them, bitch, bisexual? Problems, bitch, bisexual. Problems, bitch, bisexual. Problems, bitch.